I always thought I had a good sense of humor. I mean, life's too short to take everything seriously, right? That's probably one of the reasons I fell for Emily. She was wild, hilarious, unpredictable, the kind of woman who could turn an awkward dinner party into a stand-up show with just one look. We've been married for 8 years. Met in college, moved fast, tied the knot before we even had real jobs. She never liked the 9-to-5 grind, and when social media started blowing up, she found her thing, making people laugh online. Pranks, vlogs, Q&As. Our life slowly became content. Me, I work in logistics. Not glamorous, but it pays well and keeps us comfortable. I didn't mind her chasing views and subscribers. It made her happy, and honestly, she was damn good at it. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for that afternoon. I came home after a rough day. Had to fire a guy at work, traffic was hell, and I was just hoping for one quiet evening. Emily was waiting in the kitchen, sipping coffee, looking oddly serious. She said, "Hey, can we talk?" I sat down, already bracing myself. Then she said it. "I need to confess something. I've been cheating on you." The words didn't land at first. I just stared. She kept going straight-faced. "It's been going on for a while. I didn't mean for it to happen, but I fell for someone. I'm sorry." I don't even remember what I said, or if I said anything at all. I just left. Got in my car and drove. No destination. Just away. My chest felt like it had been split open. 8 years. We had history, plans, inside jokes, a whole damn life together. And she just dropped a bomb like it was a grocery list. I think I drove around for an hour before I could even think straight. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Emily. Just a laughing emoji. Then another one. "Come back. It's a prank." I froze. A prank? I turned around and sped home. When I walked in, she was sitting on the couch, holding her phone like a trophy. There was a hidden camera on the shelf. Red light blinking. She was laughing, eyes red from crying, but not from guilt. From joy. "You should have seen your face," she said. "Oh my God, babe, it was perfect. I got everything on camera." I didn't say a word. Just walked to the bedroom, locked the door, and lay on the bed. Eyes open. I'd never felt more humiliated. And that, my friend, was the moment something inside me quietly cracked. She thought it was content. I thought it was real. Turned out, maybe it was both. And that was only the beginning. I didn't sleep that night. Not a single damn minute. Emily thought we were good. Thought I'd just laugh it off by morning and maybe even help her edit the footage. Like I was part of some twisted couple's YouTube channel. She didn't get it, or didn't want to. She crossed a line that doesn't come with a punchline. Next morning, I made coffee. Sat at the table. She came in with that stupid oversized mug that says, "Don't talk to me till I've gone viral." She tried to lighten the mood. "Still mad?" she asked, like she'd spilled a drink, not detonated my world for content. I said nothing. "Babe, come on. It was just a prank. People do way worse online," she added, like that was some kind of defense. I asked her, "What part was supposed to be funny? The cheating? The look on my face? Or was it the part where I left the house thinking our marriage was over?" She rolled her eyes. "You're being so dramatic." I swear, that moment, that little eye roll, said more than any apology ever could have. Later that day, I found out she'd posted the video. Not publicly, thank God, but to a private feedback group of fellow content creators. They were eating it up. Some commented, "Girl, that delivery? Oscar-worthy. Bet he didn't see it coming. El Mayo." She laughed when she read them out loud. I didn't. That night, I lay in bed while she edited more clips, her keyboard tapping like a woodpecker on my nerves. The worst part? I started to doubt myself. Maybe I was being dramatic. Maybe I was overreacting. But something didn't sit right. Not just the prank, something deeper. You know that voice in your gut? The one you ignore when you want to believe things are fine? Yeah. That voice started yelling. A few nights later, we were watching TV. She left her phone on the couch while she went to the kitchen. A notification popped up on her lock screen. Telegram. From someone named Jay. Just a single line. Still can't believe he bought it. You're a monster. I don't know why I did it, but I picked up her phone. It wasn't even locked. She'd left the chat archived, one of those hidden folders most people don't even know exist. I opened it, and there it was. A full thread of messages. Flirty. Dark. Cruel. Jay. You should have seen how I laughed. Poor guy. Emily. I almost felt bad when he walked out. But yeah, he totally bought it. He's such a sweetheart. Too bad I'm not. Jay. Your talent for being cold is impressive. Emily. Only for the camera winking face. I dropped the phone like it was on fire. So it wasn't just a prank. Or maybe it was, but not just for me. They were doing it together, laughing behind my back, turning me into a punchline in their twisted little game. Suddenly, I didn't know what was worse. That she joked about cheating, or that maybe she actually had cheated. And the prank was a damn smokescreen. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. I kept thinking, was any of it ever real? Was I just the husband-shaped prop in her content? And then I decided something. I wouldn't ask. I wouldn't confront. I'd just observe. If this was a game, fine. But this time, I'd learn how to play it too. Because you don't prank a man's marriage and expect no consequences. Next part, I start watching her. Not as a husband, but as someone who wants the truth. And I was ready to see everything. It's a strange feeling, realizing your marriage might be a lie because of a phone notification. I didn't sleep again. Instead, I kept replaying that message over and over in my head. Still can't believe he bought it. You're a monster. That wasn't just some cheeky comment from a friend. That was a confession. A glimpse behind the curtain. I knew what I had to do. But I also knew I had to be smart. If she was really hiding something, confronting her would just make her better at hiding it. So I played dumb. Gave her the silence she took for forgiveness. She thought the storm passed. That I had cooled off and moved on. She even tried to cuddle up to me that night like nothing ever happened. I turned over, said I was tired. She shrugged. No guilt. No shame. Just another day in the life of a content creator. In the morning, while she was in the shower, I went back to her phone. This time, I took screenshots of the entire archive thread. Every message. Every timestamp. Then I deleted the evidence that I had ever opened it. Jay, whoever he was, wasn't just watching from the sidelines. He was involved. They had planned this. There were messages from before the prank discussing how to stage it for maximum emotional impact. Even a message from her that said, "He's not the kind of guy to scream or throw things. He shuts down. That'll make it hit harder." So she knew exactly what she was doing. She didn't underestimate me. She calculated me. After that, I checked her laptop. I knew the password, same one since college. There, buried in a folder disguised as 2021 taxes, was a set of edited videos. Not just the prank. Other stuff too. Private recordings. Some clearly not meant for the internet. There were videos of her sitting on the couch, talking to the camera about how numb She feels how bored she gets, how she sometimes wonders if she even likes me anymore. One file hit like a punch to the chest. She said, and I quote, "I know I should feel guilty, but I don't. Sometimes I think he deserves it for being so oblivious. Like, open your eyes, dude." I closed the laptop. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there, staring at nothing. And you know what thought came to me? I don't even remember when we stopped laughing together. When she stopped touching me without a camera being involved. When she stopped seeing me and started seeing views. Later that week, she posted another video. One of those sit-down, looking deep into the lens types. She titled it, "How Our Relationship Survived the Hardest Week." She talked about the prank, about how some people didn't understand the humor. She smiled through it all, said, "He's a trooper. I love that man." And there I was, sitting just off camera, playing my part in her script. Only now I had my own. I installed a small hidden camera in my home office. Another one in the hallway. Not because I was paranoid. Because I needed evidence. Not just for me, but for whatever this was turning into. She had secrets. And I was done being the fool who smiled for the camera while the world watched me unravel. I didn't know where this would lead. But I knew one thing for sure. This wasn't a joke anymore. After that week, things went strangely quiet. Too quiet. She kept up appearances. Morning coffee together. Light banter over lunch. Fake laughter at dinner. But every time I looked at her, I couldn't stop hearing that line from her video. "I know I should feel guilty, but I don't." She'd walk around the house humming as if nothing happened. Like I hadn't watched her confess on camera that she didn't know if she even liked me anymore. She kissed me on the cheek like she used to, except now it felt like a stage direction. I had to keep pretending. Keep documenting. I copied more files off her laptop. Emails. Messages. Draft scripts for videos that never went live. One was titled, "Confessing to My Husband for Real, Not Clickbait." Yeah, real touching stuff. But the one that stuck with me, the one that turned my stomach, was a chat with her friend Jay. She told him, "He still doesn't suspect a thing. Guess I'm better at acting than I thought." He replied with a laughing emoji and said, "Let me know when you're done playing house." Right there. That was it. No more doubts. She wasn't just cruel. She was intentional. The worst part? She kept making content. One day, she posted a video called, "He Still Loves Me After This?" It was a vlog about how we were healing and rebuilding trust. Comments poured in. "You guys are couple goals. So proud of you two. This is how love should work." And every single comment chipped away at my patience. Because I wasn't rebuilding trust. I was building a case. I started tracking her location through her phone, something I swore I'd never do. Not because I wanted to control her. Because I needed the truth. One Thursday she said she was going to the gym. Her GPS said otherwise. She was parked outside some apartment complex across town for nearly 2 hours. When she got back, she was glowing. Said something about Pilates being transformational. That night, I confronted her, gently. "Gym go well?" She smiled, almost too quickly. "Yeah. Really good class. I think I'm gonna start going more." I nodded. Didn't push. Just filed it away. I knew better than to corner her before I had enough to back it up. That's when I took things up a notch. I bought a burner phone. Made a fake account on the platform she used for private live streams. Posed as a fan, anonymous, supportive, curious. She responded almost immediately. Friendly. Flirty. Way too flirty for someone with a husband supposedly sitting on the couch 10 feet away. Over the next few days, she offered sneak peeks at unreleased content, even teased a secret series about life behind the scenes, unfiltered, uncut. I paid for it. Yeah. I paid to watch my wife cheat on me, emotionally, maybe physically, and call it content. That night, after she fell asleep, I took the files off my fake fan account and saved them to a flash drive. And as I held it in my hand, I knew exactly what it was. Proof. Undeniable. Unforgivable. And maybe, finally, the beginning of the end. But not just for her. For the version of me who kept hoping this was all just some terrible misunderstanding. That guy? He was gone. The flash drive sat on my nightstand for 2 days. I'd pick it up, turn it over, even plug it into my laptop, but I never hit play. I didn't need to see more. I already knew. But I guess I was hoping for something else. An apology that would come without a script. A look that wasn't aimed at a lens. Some flicker of the woman I married, not the character she turned herself into. It never came. Instead, she doubled down. More reels. More hashtags. More "we're healing together" content that made me want to punch a mirror. So I stopped pretending. I wasn't angry. Not in the loud way. It was quieter than that. Like standing in the ruins of your house, not yelling, just sweeping up. I started recording too. Not for clicks. Not for followers. For me. Clips of me watching her. Confession prank. Me reading her Telegram chats with Jay. Footage from her live streams, annotated with dates, times, context. I even added voiceover. I guess the joke was I thought she loved me. It's funny, in the way a train wreck is funny to someone safe behind glass. Say hi to the woman who told me I was her whole world. Then sold me out for a thumbnail. It wasn't revenge. It was documentation. Just in case I ever started gaslighting myself. A week later, I posted something. Just a short clip. Me, sitting in our kitchen. The same kitchen where she filmed her prank. Caption read, "Would you forgive a prank like this?" No names. No accusations. Just the moment. It blew up. Hundreds of thousands of views in a matter of hours. The comments were a war zone. That's not a prank. That's psychological warfare. Why is everyone turning trauma into content? She played herself. She didn't say anything at first. Then I caught her filming a reaction video. She tried to laugh it off. I guess the internet thinks I'm a monster now. Great. But her hands were shaking. She knocked over a glass and didn't even react. Later that night, she came to me. No camera. Just her. You're blowing this out of proportion, she said. Am I? I asked. Or am I just matching your energy finally? She tried to spin it. Said she was going to delete the prank video. That she'd never meant for it to hurt me like that. That it was supposed to be a moment of raw, emotional vulnerability. I nearly laughed in her face. Because the irony? She was being raw and emotional now. But not because she cared about what she did. She cared because people saw it. And now, they had opinions. I can't believe you turned it public, she said. You literally built your audience off us, I snapped. I just showed them what that really looked like. She didn't speak after that. Just walked out of the room. And I sat there, realizing that I wasn't hurt anymore. I was done. I wasn't her husband. I wasn't her character. I wasn't her punchline. I was the guy who finally decided the story didn't need her in it anymore. And trust me, that was the best plot twist yet. She went quiet after that night. No live streams. No Q&As. No marriage healing vlogs. Just silence. And in her world, silence was a 5-alarm fire. At first, I thought it was part of some strategy. You know the OL. Go dark, come back with a tearful redemption arc. But days passed. Then a week. She stayed off social. Stayed off me. That part? I wasn't complaining. The internet didn't stay quiet, though. My clip, just that short, silent moment in the kitchen, kept spreading. People dug up her old content. The prank video. The comments she left under, relationship goals, memes. It was like watching a digital autopsy. Then came the split. Her followers divided like cells under a microscope. One half still clung to the "it's just a joke" defense. The others, not so forgiving. They called it what it was, cruelty dressed up as comedy. I stayed out of it. Didn't engage. Didn't correct. Didn't explain. That's when she tried to pivot. I walked into the kitchen one morning. There she was, trying to film an apology video. Ring light on. Tear duct ready. I didn't even look at her. Just grabbed my coffee and left. A few hours later, I got the email. Subject line: "Please review before I post." It was the script. Her open letter to my husband and fans. A rambling, oddly professional piece full of phrases like, "I deeply regret the unintended impact. I understand how my actions may have been perceived. We are working through things privately as a couple." I replied with one line, "You don't speak for me." That afternoon, she posted anyway. The comments roasted her into ash within minutes. But the real fallout came when her sponsors pulled out. One by one. Brands that had plastered her smile across lifestyle ads started deleting posts. Emails rolled in, collaborations. On hold, reconsidered, terminated. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel something. Not happiness, exactly. More like justice. Like watching the credits roll after a movie where the villain finally slips. That night, she broke. Really broke. No lights, no camera. Just her, curled up on the couch, sobbing. "I ruined everything," she said. I sat down across from her. Not close. Just enough. I didn't say, "Yes, you did." Didn't say, "You deserve this." Didn't say anything. She looked up at me like I was a stranger. And maybe I was now. "I don't know who I am without the channel," she whispered. I nodded. "Maybe it's time you figure that out." That was the last time we had a real conversation. She moved out 3 days later. Took her gear, her ring light, her cameras. Left behind the props. The lies. The echo chamber she built. I didn't ask where she went. Didn't care. But I did keep the flash drive. Not out of spite. Not to hold it over her. But because some stories need a record. Even when the people in them try to rewrite the ending. And mine? It was finally shifting into something real. Something honest. Something unscripted. It's wild how fast a shared life can turn into silence. The house was suddenly too clean. Too quiet. No makeup kits on the bathroom counter. No half-finished vlog thumbnails on the desktop. Just empty space where chaos used to live. She didn't block me. Didn't try to claw back into my inbox with more fake apologies or teary late-night texts. No, she vanished the way influencers do when the metrics drop too fast, disappear now, resurface later with personal growth. But I wasn't interested in her comeback. For a while, I kept expecting a punchline. Like maybe she'd show up again at my door, holding a camera, saying, "Gotcha. This whole thing? A long-form prank." God help me, I probably wouldn't have even flinched. Instead, I focused on breathing. On small things. Making my own coffee. Reading books I'd put off for years. Trying to remember who I was before I became her husband. That's when something strange started to happen. People began recognizing me. In line at the grocery store, someone muttered, "Wait, Are you the guy from that video? At first, I dreaded it. Thought they were gonna laugh, or ask for her side, or lecture me on how I should have known. But instead, they just nodded, patted my shoulder, said things like, "I saw it, man. That was brutal." Or, "You deserve better." Total strangers, handing me pieces of my self-worth back. One guy even said, "My ex pulled something similar. Watching your story helped me leave." And suddenly it clicked. This wasn't just my mess. This was everyone's mess. So I did something I never thought I would. I started talking. Not on her old channel. Not with a ring light and carefully curated sob stories. I opened a new account. Plain background. No music. No cuts. Just me. A guy who got screwed by the person he trusted most. My first post was titled, "When the punchline is your marriage." I talked about what it felt like to hear the word cheating wrapped in a laugh track. How betrayal isn't always a slammed door. It can come dressed as a joke, a prank, a content strategy. The response? Overwhelming. People poured into the comments, sharing their stories, their pain, their confusion over when love became content and real people became props. I read every single one. And for the first time in months, I felt like something inside me wasn't just broken. It was building. I kept posting. Not every day. Not for clout. Just when I had something honest to say. Stories from others started showing up too. People who'd been mocked, ghosted, manipulated under the mask of humor. My DMs weren't about likes or shoutouts. They were from people saying, "Thanks for not laughing it off." One woman messaged, "My ex posted our breakup online with clown music. I cried for a week. Watching your video helped me feel seen." And just like that, I realized what I was doing wasn't revenge. It wasn't therapy either. It was truth, raw and unedited. Somewhere along the line, we all forgot that feelings aren't for content. That a marriage isn't a platform. That betrayal isn't punchable for engagement. So yeah, this was my way back. Back to real life. Back to myself. And maybe, just maybe, helping others find their way too. No ring lights. No fake tears. No scripts. Just one guy with a story. And the guts to tell it. The internet, as it turns out, has a terrifyingly short memory, unless you give it something worth remembering. And I did. That last video I posted, "When the punchline is your marriage," caught fire. It was raw, quiet, real. No music, no effects, no bait. But somehow, it spread faster than anything she ever posted. Guess authenticity still sells, huh? It wasn't viral in the "watch me fail at a TikTok dance" kind of way. It was the kind of viral that creeps into inboxes with subject lines like, "You need to see this," or group chats that go silent after someone drops the link. Then comes the wave. Her wave. Comments on her old videos turned dark fast. I didn't ask for it, never told people to harass her, but you can't put that kind of truth out there and expect the audience to stay neutral. They saw the footage, heard the laugh, watched a man break on camera, and they chose sides. Brands pulled deals. Sponsors ghosted. One skincare company left a comment under her "Get ready with me" reel that just said, "We do not support cruelty, even emotional." She turned off comments, then hid likes, then deleted a dozen videos. Then she vanished completely. No apology video. No redemption arc. No tearful, "I've learned from this" post. Just gone. Part of me thought I'd feel satisfied, like I'd won something. But honestly, it just made the silence louder. It's a strange kind of grief when you realize the person you once loved more than anything has become a stranger to everyone, including themselves. I didn't celebrate her downfall. Didn't pop champagne. I took a walk. Alone. Watched the leaves turn. And thought about how badly I had once wanted to grow old with her. Now I just hoped we'd never cross paths again. Life moved forward in these weird, lurching steps. I kept uploading. Not as often. Just enough. I started talking to other people. Interview style. Victims of joke cheating. Prank breakups. People whose dignity had been turned into metrics. It was sobering. And surprisingly healing. One guy said, "I forgave her for the prank, but I never forgot how good she looked laughing while I cried." Another woman broke down describing how her partner fake confessed to cheating just to get views, and when she dumped him for real, he said she ruined the bit. This was a pandemic, and the virus was clout. I guess what shocked me the most was how many people just wanted someone to say out loud that their pain was real, that it wasn't overreacting to feel betrayed, that humiliation doesn't become okay just because it's labeled content. One day, a producer reached out, wanted to turn it all into a docuseries. I said no. It wasn't about that. Not anymore. I wasn't trying to be famous. Just human. I had no interest in trading my pain for a polished trailer. And as for her, the last I heard, she moved to another city. Shut down all her old accounts. Started over under a different name. She left behind the followers, the fake smiles, the shallow scripts. Maybe she's learning something. Maybe not. Doesn't really matter. Because the day I stopped needing closure from her was the day I realized I already had it. And it came not from her apology, but from my own voice, steady, honest, and finally loud enough to drown out the laugh track. Yeah, that was the moment I knew. The real story wasn't about her joke. It was about me walking away from it, without becoming the punchline. So, that was that. No more videos. No more drama. No more need to. When? I didn't even notice the exact day it all stopped being relevant. It just faded, the way pain sometimes does when you stop picking at it. People still recognize me, sure. But the tone changed. "Hey, you're that guy, right?" Used to be said with curiosity. Or pity. Now it came with something softer. "Man, just wanted to say. That took guts." Or, "You helped me walk away from someone toxic." And then they'd walk on. No selfies. No fanboying. Just respect. I'd go home after encounters like that and sit with it. Let it settle. That maybe, just maybe, telling the truth was enough. The apartment didn't feel haunted anymore. I got new curtains. Moved the couch. Put away the reminders. Even the silence started sounding different. Less like loneliness. More like peace. Funny how you can get used to quiet after chaos. Start to appreciate the stillness of a Saturday morning with a cup of coffee that's just the right temperature. There were still hard moments. Nights where I'd hear laughter from another apartment and feel it in my spine. But they passed. Time did what time does. It didn't fix anything. But it softened the edges. I started seeing someone. Slowly. Cautiously. We met through a friend. She didn't ask about the videos, not right away. She said, "I figured if you wanted me to know, you'd tell me." I did. Eventually. Over cheap tacos on a rainy Tuesday. She listened. Didn't flinch. And then said, "That explains your side eyes every time I pull out my phone." We both laughed. That was the first time in months I laughed and didn't feel weird about it. I still flinch when someone says the word prank. Still hate surprise parties. Still feel my stomach twist when I hear a certain ringtone. But I don't live in that pain anymore. I visit. Acknowledge it. Then leave it where it belongs, in the past. I never heard from her again. Not directly. One of our mutuals said she's working retail somewhere out of state. Laid low. Rebuilding. They asked me if I'd ever want to talk to her again. I said no, but if she ever needed to hear it, I'd forgive her. Not for her. For me. Because dragging anger around is like trying to win a race with a piano strapped to your back. And I've got better places to be. I started writing. Not posts. Not scripts. Just thoughts. Little essays. Notes to myself mostly. Pain is proof you felt something real. Silence is not the same as weakness. Being the bigger person doesn't mean you forget, it means you walk taller anyway. I never published any of it. Didn't need to. That wasn't the point. People ask me sometimes, would you go through it all again if you knew how it'd end? And I always say no. Hell no. But would I trade who I am now for who I was before it happened? Not a chance. Because now I know. Love shouldn't feel like confusion. Laughter shouldn't come at your expense. And trust is earned, not entertained. I'm not the guy from that video anymore. I'm just a guy who figured out what matters, the hard way. And honestly, I'm okay with that. It's been 2 years. You'd think, after all that, the story would still follow me like a shadow. But nah. Turns out, time has a way of making even the most viral drama fade into background noise. Some days, I almost forget it happened. Almost. But then someone new at work will pause and go, wait a minute, you're not that guy, are you? And I'll smile, not the forced kind I used to wear, and say, not anymore. Because that's the truth. I'm not the guy who got pranked with a fake confession. Or the guy who found out it wasn't fake after all. Or the one who watched his marriage crash and burn in front of an audience. I'm just a guy. Living. Moving on. Funny, right? After all that pain, all that chaos, this is what I ended up with. Peace. The new place is smaller. Cozier. I picked it with intention. No memories hiding in the corners. No ghosts in the walls. It's got this little reading nook by the window. Some days, I just sit there and let the sunlight hit my face like it's an old friend. The kind that doesn't ask questions. Just shows up and stays a while. That nook seemed more healing than any therapist's office I've ever been in. I see my family more. Turns out, when you nearly implode in front of the whole internet, your parents worry. Mom still brings it up sometimes, gently, like it's a bruise she's scared to press on. You're really okay now, yeah? And I nod. Every time I nod. Because I am. In a way I wasn't before. In a way I didn't think was possible. And maybe that's the biggest twist of all. What happened wasn't just about betrayal. Or public humiliation. Or going viral for all the wrong reasons. It was about truth. About finally seeing what I refused to look at for years. That I bent over backwards to be. The good guy. While someone else was treating our life like a stage. And yeah, it broke me. But then it rebuilt me into someone who doesn't settle for that anymore. I deleted my old account. Not out of shame. Out of closure. I didn't want to scroll back and see comments from strangers debating my worth like it was a sport. Didn't want to rewatch moments that used to make me shake with anger. The past doesn't get to rent space in my head anymore. It got evicted the moment I chose to start over, quietly. The woman I'm with now? She doesn't even have a YouTube channel. No thirst traps. No clickbait. No hidden cameras. Just real laughs. Real conversations. She's seen the videos, sure. Saw them before we even met, actually. But she never once brought it up in a, wow, poor you, kind of way. Instead, one night over Chinese takeout, she just said, I'm glad you made it out. And that was enough. We talk about the future sometimes. It's not some big dramatic plan. No timelines or vision boards. Just small hopes. Shared goals. Quiet mornings. I used to think love had to be loud. Grand. Fireworks every weekend. Now I know love is doing dishes without being asked. It's laughing at the same dumb joke for the 100th time. It's choosing to stay, even when it'd be easier to shut down. Would I change what happened? You'd think I'd say yes. That I'd take it all back if I could. But here's the thing, without that crash, I wouldn't have rebuilt. Without the fire, I wouldn't have found out I could walk through it and come out stronger. So no, I wouldn't change it. Because that mess taught me everything I needed to learn about trust, about resilience, about not letting someone else define my worth. Somewhere out there, she's probably still chasing Lex. Maybe trying to rebuild. Maybe blaming me for the fallout. Who knows? But that's not my story anymore. My story's about choosing peace, choosing truth, and choosing myself without a camera in my face. If you made it this far, you already know. This wasn't just a story about betrayal. It was a story about waking up. So yeah, maybe the punchline was brutal. But I got the last laugh. And trust me, it's a good one.